He looked at me and says, "This is what we can teach, how we teach. But aren't we going to school to learn about money?" He says, "No. Your job is to get a job." I said, "But you get a job to earn money." "No, you're supposed to just get a job. Isn't the purpose of a job to earn money?" He goes, "You're correct. I just learn about money." You know, he got flustered and he said, "If you want to learn about money, why don't you ask your best friend's father about money?" And I said, "Why? That's Mike." So I asked him, because Mike's father is an entrepreneur. I said, what are you?" He says, "I'm an employee. I'm a government employee." I went, "Oh, what's the difference?" He says, "The difference is an entrepreneur must know about money. They're no longer entrepreneurs." And he says an employee doesn't have to know anything about money because the government company will take care of them. All confused. But I took my dad's advice and I trundled over to Mike's door and I said, "Hey, I'm here, 9 years old. Teach me about money." He says, "Beat it, kid, you know." But that's where the story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad started. And finally, through persistence, my rich dad started teaching me about money on one condition. And that condition was he would never pay me. He says, "The moment I pay you, you think like an employee." He says, "That's the trap. Entrepreneurs work for free." And now I'm 9 years old, my head's going cracking in half. Because you never want a paycheck. You understand that? And he says, "Well, how do I make money?" He says, "That's what entrepreneurs figure out." He was like, "How do I learn about money?" A Monopoly game board. So I would work for free. I'd pick up cigarette butts and get hotels and restaurants, and I would clean and do field tasks. And as I got older, I started getting into office work and marketing and accounting. And I was an apprentice basically, but I always worked for free. And he would teach me about money. But the way he taught me about money was playing Monopoly. One day I got upset. I said, "Well, when are you going to teach me about money?" He says, "What do you think we're doing?" Playing Monopoly. He goes, No. What do you think we're doing?" "We're playing Monopoly." He says, "What do you think we're doing?" "I'm teaching about money." And then that's when, you have one greenhouse. He says, there's many formulas for great success in money. There's thousands of them. But one of the best ones found on the game of Monopoly. It still is today. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. I said, "What?" He says, "One of the greatest ways to acquire great wealth is playing Monopoly in real life. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel." "Is that all there is?" He goes, "That's it." And he says, "What do you think I'm doing?" And I went, "I don't know." So then he took me out and he showed me his greenhouses. And 10 years later, when I was 19, I was now in school in New York, Hawaii, and Rich Dad had bought the biggest piece of land smack dab in the middle of Waikiki Beach. And when you go to Waikiki Beach today, you'll see the Hyatt Regency Hotel. That was his hotel.
Just like the game of Monopoly.
Just like the game of Monopoly.
Acquired assets and they became bigger assets.
He just kept what's called an assemblage because that property wasn't that big at that time. So he had to buy out all the small guys. Because Waikiki was a little dirtwater little town. So he'd buy out this shop owner, buy that shop owner. And it took him a while, but he finally assembled this large piece of property. And then he and Hyatt put up this giant hotel.
Greetings, good evening, everybody. I tell you, I could listen to, financial wisdom all day. I could definitely listen to the gems being dropped by Robert Kiyosaki. He is the author of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you guys might be wondering, well, why am I showing that? So instead of having a countdown timer, that is definitely my new countdown timer, and I pick up new gems and new nuggets from that every single time that I watch it. So First of all, good evening, everybody. Greetings, happy Friday. Oh, let's pause on that. My name is Miss Maren UK. I am here in sunny Manchester, UK, and I'm definitely going to bring some information to you. I'm not going to give you over analysis paralysis. I really want to show you something that I have, just like the gems that, Robert was dropping when he was any of us. We kind of want to know what, how do we get rich, right? How do we, make more money? How do we, stop robbing Peter to pay Paul and actually get ahead, in life? And I know right now, in a time more than any, things are really shifting and changing at the speed of sound. So I want to introduce something to you today, and I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey. This is a nice interactive session today. So I want you guys to be able to engage with me, type in the chat, and let's just have a conversation. Let's talk about wealth. Nobody ever wants to talk about wealth with us. When I say us, people who look like us, we've been at the bottom of the food chain, we've been marginalized, but I see this time we're living in, this great pandemic of 2020, it taught me something. It taught me not just that the world has gone upside down, but it's been shaken up so that people at the bottom, maybe they can get a way in. So before we go any further, I'm going to ask you to download this app. I'm not even going to explain what the app means right now. I just want you to simply, if you guys can follow instructions, if you can listen, learn, and apply, those skill sets could actually make you a lot more than what you think financially. So I'm going to play this video. It's a very short clip, and then I'm going to get into our conversation on this evening as I present an opportunity that has changed both my life and my family's life because of a decision that I made 4 years ago. So this is for the iPhone. If you've got an Android, you can simply type this in also in your Google Play, and it's absolutely free, guys. That's the best part about this. I'm giving you free gems, free knowledge that you already have access to. You just don't know it. So go ahead and follow this.
Access your App Store from your smartphone device. Locate the search area, and in the search space, type MetaTrader 4, as you can see on your screen. Once found, click on the icon near to the top of the screen, alike to the one you see here. Commence the download as you normally would, and once complete, go ahead and click Open. Great! You have successfully downloaded MetaTrader 4. Let's get ready to trade.
Let's get ready to get paid. Did you know that that is your ticket? That may just be your ticket to something that you've been searching for high and low, and you've just done it in a few seconds. So as soon as you've downloaded that, just drop 4s in the chat. And for all those guests, we really want you to have an experience today that is interactive, an experience where you leave with more than you came from. Not just knowledge, but I'm a very practical learner. I'm very visual. So I definitely want you to open your mind, expand today in more areas than one, and just let me know the value you're getting. It's always about giving value. So I'm going to press on because I am literally so focused on doing this in 30 minutes flat. This is not, like I said, over analysis paralysis tonight. So guys, when I think about the space that I'm now a part of inside what we call Rich University, probably a university that you've never heard before, probably a university that isn't traditional in the way it delivers, its education, but it definitely is an educational platform. And when I think about literacy, well, let's see what the I'm going to say what the Bible, what's it called? The dictionary says about literacy. It says that's the ability to read and write, okay, and it says, numeracy and things of that nature. Then it says competence or knowledge in a specific area, okay, of a specified area. So when we're thinking about our money, our finances, because let's be real, guys, no matter what, whether that's something that might be not a big deal or is a big deal to us, it's hard to function in life without it, okay? For most things that you need to survive in this world, you need, that fiat, that paper money, and a lot of us always feel like we don't have enough of it. And why is that? Really, why is that? You see, a lot of things everything else, we've got an understanding of how it works. And just like Robert Kiyosaki was saying, as a child, when he went to his dad, who he calls his poor dad, and he wanted to know about how to make more money, and his dad had a job, his dad said to him, well, that's not how you make more money, but you just get a job. And he was like, well, where can I go to learn about money? He wanted to learn about how to create, how to make more money, and his poor dad couldn't tell him. He had no real idea. And I find this is where a lot of us sometimes sit. I know 4 years ago, when I found myself at the wrong side of the unemployment circle, when the rug had been ripped from underneath me, somewhere that you guys might be feeling right now, maybe the industry that you're working, it's it's doing layoffs, you're just wondering, okay, is it going to be me next? Or maybe you've been told internal restructuring, or whatever the fancy words that they use to say that you've not got a job anymore. And if that happens, or if that's happened, that feeling, now you're not in control. That job is dictated if you're going to, eat that day, or if you're going to be able to live where you live now, where you even go on holiday. And that's where I was. And I had to make a decision. First of all, it dawned on me that I didn't even understand finances. I didn't really understand money. And all I knew was to continue looking for a job. And financial literacy is the possession of a set of skills, knowledge that allows an individual to make informed and effective decisions with all of their financial resources. Financial resources, I mean, is that a job? Like, what's a financial resource? Is it my bank account? Like, where are we supposed to get these things? Because the bottom line is this is what we know. This is what the majority of us know, what 95% of us know. When it comes to money, we know how to budget it, we know how to save it, we know how to count it, right? We have maybe our expenses, maybe you're really, really organized, you've got your cash flow, what's coming in, the things that need to go out, the bills. But how does that does that put you ahead? Because what I realized, think about it, if you've got one pot and everything, as soon as that pot is filled, everything's got to come out, the gas bill, the electric bill, the phone bill, this bill, then what's left, and we know inflation is going up 13% a year, it's not exactly enough to live on. So how do we actually grow that pot? Because that is when we're thinking about, okay, well, what next? When we're learning about money, you can see I've Googled, and all I'm doing today is just showing you things that you have access to, so that you can go and do your own due diligence. And as you can see, number 8 says, get expert advice on how to grow your money. So I'm not going to say that this is expert advice, but I'm going to just give you an inkling of what I learned 4 years ago. You see, invest is not necessarily something that we learn. We don't learn about invest. We learn about spending, we learn about saving, but investment is when something actually has the ability to grow, right? Maybe some of you have been fortunate enough to get a 401k, which grows your money 3 to 8% a year, right? That means $100 at the beginning of the year, at the end will be $108. Not that exciting. And maybe you've got property, maybe you've invested in property, you did all the right things, and you've got yourself, a second home that generates income. Well, if 2020 taught you anything, we've realized that there are now rental breaks, mortgage breaks, where if that was an income you were relying on, maybe that's now kind of on a freeze, a pay freeze situation, and you're no longer to accumulate like you once were. That might mean that you have to downsize. Maybe the school you were sending your children to, that isn't a reality. I'm talking about those people in the middle, because I really believe, and I see it, and drop a 1 in the chat if you agree. When we say the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, those two, they're pretty kind of solidified. We know that if you're at the bottom, then, it's quite easy to stay at the bottom. There are things to help us, government handouts that, are things that we need at some point, but we know that there are stipulations, meaning you can't maybe work a certain amount of hours, you can't have a certain amount of earnings. And if you then take away that government assistance, everything goes up. Maybe you've got to pay more rent. Maybe you've got to pay more for your children's school or what have you. So what that helps you to do is stay in that bracket, right? Helps you stay down. Where those who are getting richer and richer, they're doing this. They're doing investments, they're doing leverage. So what they're not doing is what most of us learn to do, is exchange our time for money. You can see here, employee, I've Googled all these things. So, I know, but I kind of see it. Sometimes seeing is believing, right? Seeing it in black and white. A person who is employed, which is what 95% of us are, they basically are exchanging their time for money. They get a salary for the work that they put in. Well, the difference between somebody who invests, what is an investor? There's somebody or person or even an entity who commits capital, that's their money, with an expectation of receiving a financial return. So they make decisions that actually make them money. There was nothing about how much time it took. It doesn't require them to consistently be doing something. It's literally something that they're able to do one time. Okay. And all of this, the information that I'm kind of getting this from, that gentleman you saw at the beginning, Robert Kiyosaki, not only he is the author of the best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, but he's actually broken down how cash flows throughout every single person on God's green earth as almost like a science called the cash flow quadrant. And as it says, schools will not teach you this. And you guys can go ahead and Google this. There's been a lot of research done on it, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So you've got two sides. You've got the left and the right. Well, if we start at the left, over here, you've got the majority of the world. These are people who are exchanging their time for money. We've already, established that. Then what about self-employed people? These are people who maybe don't have the same strict structure as a job. Maybe they are a lawyer, maybe they are a doctor. Believe it or not, those people are classed as self-employed. So if they don't work, they don't get. They're basically, their income is reliant on their time. That means that even though they might make more money over here as doctors, lawyers, scientists, they might spend less time with their family, might not be able to go on vacation as much. They're time poor. And the facts are, you can Google this, that we're actually on this side, we only have 5% of the world's wealth, and that's being shared by the majority, a whole 95% of people. Where on the other side, which I like to call the right side of money, someone drop in the chat the right side of money, you have people like business owners and investors, and these make up 5%, but the rest of the money lives over here, that 95%. These people have learned something called leverage. The business owner like Jeff Bezos, like Richard Branson, just because you order from Amazon today, shout out to all my Amazon Prime customers, drop A's in the chat if you guys have ever ordered from Amazon, first of all, because that's a whole nother conversation that if I've got time, we'll get into. But we know that business is not being done the same way. Where I am in the UK, outside is closed. So even if I wanted to go to the shop, there's no shops open. So I've got to click an order. And Jeff Bezos has become the richest man in the world because he identified that. But not just that, he's not jumping on a plane every single time you guys are ordering from Amazon. He isn't the one that delivered the parcel to you, putting the, the stamps on it and all the rest of it. He has basically been able to leverage. He's got a system in place, which I like to say stands for save yourself some time, energy, and money, right? And then you've got the smartest guy or girl in the room, which is the investor. They make up 1% of the world's population. These people are so clever that when they're sleeping, their money is actually making money. You see, they make decisions based on the level of elite information and education that they've had access to and been able to take whatever it is, a small sum, and they just kind of move their pot around. Remember that part, what we're taking the bills out of every single month, as soon as we get paid, that feeling of glee fades as soon as you've paid gas bill, water bill, Paul, Peter, everybody's getting paid out of the pot, right? Where Mr. Investor over here, his pot is continually growing, and they have a unique set of habits. You see, they don't spend their income, they spend their interest. I'll say that again. They're not spending their income, the money that's coming in, the pot, what they start with. Their money actually makes money for them, regardless of what time they're putting into it, even when they're sleeping. And then what it produces, the profits, that's what they spend. And here at Rich University, we want to welcome you to an elite level of education and information where that is what we learn how to do. Not public school, that didn't teach us that. Private school, even if we went to private school, we didn't learn that. And we've learned this basically from getting the education that most people have had access to for generations inside this amazing academy. So guys, you see on the screen, I've got Blockbuster there, and I'm going to go through this really, really quickly because it doesn't really take a lot of overthinking to know that things are changing. Who remembers Blockbuster? Who's old like me? Who remembers wanting to watch a movie and having to go and rent one from a video store? Lord, even saying that out loud, that sounds crazy, right? Imagine, it almost seems like, why were we doing that? You see, Blockbuster, at one time, that was the norm, that was the standard, right? Now, if you want to watch a film, where do you go? Who knows what this is? This big red N has changed the way we do film. You see, it's funny because that Blockbuster I just showed you is actually an Airbnb now, something that also didn't exist 10 years ago. But you can admit, if you agree, put a 1 in the chat. If you can say that movies have now gone digital, the way we do film is now digital. Netflix, yes, Shawnice, Netflix. This is how, if we wanted to watch a movie, we're more likely going to think, okay, well, let's go to the red end than the red box, right? Where we used to go and get DVDs. I mean, who even has a VCR anymore? Who even knows what that is? If you've got one, they're collecting dust most likely. Well, let's even take it further than that. Who knows what this is? Who remembers what these were? And let me tell you, I took many trips down to HMV in my heyday, and I used to buy albums, Hold Tight Mary J. Blige, Hold Tight TLC, and I used to love pulling the booklet out and reading through the booklet, right? But guess what? This is not a reality now. I couldn't tell you the last time I bought a CD. I don't even know where I'd go to buy a CD. I don't even know if everybody on this call even knows what a compact disc is. This is how we used to listen to music. And I say used to because now in come this. Now, who knows what that is? I mean, everybody can probably, I don't even have to write the words. This is how music is being done. Yeah, I still have mine too, Shawnice, but there's not a lot of good I can do with it because now music has also gone digital. Now, your children, if they want to listen to music, they're going to Spotify. Now, all the albums that I bought back in the day, no longer I don't even know where my CD, I don't even know if I have a CD player. I mean, isn't it funny that these things change, that the world is being digitalized right in plain sight and nobody is asking us how we feel about it? Nobody's ringing us up. Nobody's sending us a letter and saying, oh, Miss Moran, by the way, we're about to go digital with music. So your Mary J. Blige, all your albums, where you're going to go ahead and have to park them. Are you sure? You okay with this? No, no one is asking that. So when we think about our money, remember we started this talking about financial literacy. That's why we're here. That's money, right? Those of you in the UK, that's our Great British pound. Hold tight, Queen Elizabeth. Those of you in the States, this is what your money looks like, right? But what if I told you, following that same trend, that your money is also going digital? Enter Bitcoin. Now, what the heck is a Bitcoin? And why do you keep seeing this everywhere? And why is this relevant to you and how you do money? Because the same way that no one notified you that Spotify was coming to town and your CDs were gonna, about to be, out of date, overrated, and just, no one cares. The same way how that VCR, God knows where it is, how one day you just stop using it. You don't even really know the date, the time, the minute, the hour. Guys, the reason why we're here today, because we want to show you how money is being done. We want to give you that understanding of financial literacy. If you want more finances, you have to understand them, right? And I'm going to, if I've got time, let me just go ahead. I'm trying to stay within the boundaries, but I have to show you a testimony from inside this community. I told you I'm a part of a wealth circle called Rich University. And this is one of my sisters.
I came from the banking industry where I was, a loan officer, and I worked for a very prestigious mortgage company here in New York City. And so, we've been friends all of these years. And so he was just kind of telling me about, you need to get into this space where, invest in Bitcoin. He said, look, I don't care. You can't see nothing. It's not like tangible like gold or anything. But he said, trust me, you're gonna thank me later. So here, years later, I took just $10 because I was just being so skeptical about it. I said, okay, he's going to invest 100, but I'm not going to take my $100 and put into it. I'll just take $10 and see where it's going to take me. So I did that, and he sent me the link. See, back then in 2010, Bitcoin was only 10 cents a coin. Okay, and so I just took my $10 and I bought $10 worth of Bitcoin, and he took $100 worth and $100 and bought his Bitcoins. Well, here I tried to retrieve when Bitcoin was booming. I was trying to retrieve my account and couldn't. I got locked out because it was my email account was hacked, and so he called me. He's in Dubai, and he's like, "Look, I got over $100 million, with Bitcoin now. I'm chilling." He was like, you need to try to retrieve your account and whatnot. So what I did was put in the recovery. Now, all the time when Bitcoin was booming, I still couldn't retrieve my account. So all during the pandemic, he's telling me, yo, I'm chilling. Like, you need to really try to recover your account. And so I was like headstrong about it. I was like, look, I don't care what, I'm going to try to retrieve this account. And so that's what I did. I ended up putting in, and it was a Hotmail account. So I started getting away from the Yahoo and Hotmail accounts because all my accounts used to get hacked for some reason. So I started just going over to Google accounts. So when I went back to my Hotmail account and just put in my recovery email, I was able to retrieve that account, my account, not only my account, but the link that he sent me to open up my email wallet. And when I opened up my email wallet, it was like I had all my, the keys for me to get in. And when I opened up my email wallet, I saw over $2 million in there. And I was
$2.8 million. When I say I love Michelle, she knows how to tell a story. Every time I listen to that, I'm in suspense. Like, what? $2.8 million from a $10 investment. Like, what in the Bitcoin is going on? Somebody drop B's in the chat right now if you've got some Bitcoin, if you have had some gains, maybe not 2.8 mil, but you're already seeing how both money and investments are being done, because we can see that the price is rising again, right? Well, let's check the facts. Because Michelle just said that when she invested in 2010, Bitcoin was 10 cents. Now, what is Bitcoin? Just like you have your fiat currency, this is the first digital currency of its kind. We call it cryptocurrency, and it's an 11-year-old granddad, meaning there's many alternative coins also now, whether you know it or not, whether you're aware of this. Is people are actually making purchases with Bitcoin. People like Michelle, an amazing, beautiful Black sister in New York, woke up a millionaire from something that you don't even realize that is what how it works. So today, that same Bitcoin that she bought for 10 cents, guess how much it is worth today, guys? And I think it's still on sale. Oh, it's going back up. $37,524. $37,524. Now you can see why, if she invested when it was 10 cents, that now is definitely not 10 cents. So as her $10 was in there, it grew. As Bitcoin grew, her money grew. Now, who sat there thinking, oh my God, I'm too late, I've missed a train, I'm always late to the party, I've seen it all, so I must be out of the game? Because to be honest, that's how a lot of people think, and that's why we do calls like this, so you can actually see that the party is just getting started. The party is absolutely just getting started, and it's actually a great time to buy, because Citibank analysts, this is where we put our money, right? These are the people we trust with our money. And Citibank analysts have actually projected that by the end of this year, guess how much they predict Bitcoin to be worth? $300,000. $300,000 for one Bitcoin, guys. For one Bitcoin, that when Michelle bought it, it was 10 cents. What can you think of in the last 10 years? Your house, even, that's normally the biggest investment that you make, right? That level of increase, that level of profit. If you could purchase a house today for 37K, I'm sure if you knew by the end of the year it would be 300,000, you would get every mortgage, every debt you could get your hands on, right? Just to get a piece of that real estate. Well, this is digital real estate at its finest. And it's not going to stop there, guys, because we know the future of money is digital. We've already seen the patterns of what's happening. The more you see it, it's not going away. JP Morgan 600 bill by the year 2022. And I can go on and on. You can even look at the president of the free world. What is he doing? He's getting in position. I wonder why he's getting Ripple board members for his cabinet. Now, Ripple is another cryptocurrency. Hold tight all my XRP tape profiters, and I'm going to show you a little bit more personally. So you can actually see in real time what this looks like, okay? And to be honest, the governments aren't happy about it. They're getting in position, but they don't own it. They own the money that you use every day. So what that means is that they can manipulate the price. They can cut interest rates. That $20 in your pocket, right now, tomorrow could be worth $18. Yeah, it still looks like $20. Your £20 note. If you put £100 under the bed today and came back in 10 years, it wouldn't have the same buying power. Just think about 10 years ago, what you could get. Just think about maybe even last year, what you could get when you go shopping, when you go to the grocery store. I know that £50 shop doesn't look like I'm like, what? I've 2 bags? Like, really? Because inflation, guys, your money is constantly losing its value. So to have something like a Bitcoin that is constantly increasing in value, well, the governments, they're not very happy about it. And you can see that they're actually trying to ban new people, new investors that are getting wind of it. Because of calls like this, we're telling the world we want to change those odds. We no longer want only 1% of the world to be enjoying 95% of the wealth. We've been locked out from conversations too long. Now what we're on lockdown, we want to unlock the internet and really get ahead of the game. So I really want you guys to really think about where you are today and what you can actually learn. And it goes on, the banks are setting up to put digital wallets on your account, so they're trying to stop you from actually making an independent investment, but what they're doing is actually setting your bank accounts up right now for digital wallets. So let me take a breath. Because this is definitely not scaremongering. All I did is show you straight facts, straight social proof. And when I tell you the enemy is busy because he must not want me to go any further, but I'm not even going to take any advantage or any notice of what just happened here in the background. Like my whole tea just spilled, but that's fine. We're going to keep on going and keep on growing, because here inside the Rich University, you might think, well, what can you do for me? If I want to get the education, then are you going to teach me? Well, the truth is that we're connected to the #1 digital currency educational platform in the world. We are connected to 6, 7, and 8-figure earners. We are connected to, let me see if I can show you. Let me see if I can just show you a sneaky peek, because the truth is we have to know where we've been to know where we're going. And if I take you on a journey, first of all, we've got elite level of education and information, like our FRX Academy, where we learn all about the movement of money. We understand money. We're able to actually trade money like gold, oil, and our, general currency. We've got DCX, where we learn all about these things that I just spoke about: Bitcoin, Ripple, all the different types of cryptocurrency that there are. And then we also have ECX, and HFX. Where's our HFX? Those, type in the chat if you guys are enjoying money in minutes, those higher frequency trades that basically are just 1 to 3 minute trades, and so much more. And I'm going to give you a sneaky peek into our FRX Academy, because you need to kind of understand that money, there's a whole history and it lives in a market. And I'm going to literally show you right now the type of videos that you will have access to on the inside.
Welcome to the IM Mastery Academy for Forex. In this course, we'll be talking about what is FRX. Forex can be professionally abbreviated as FX or FRX. This basically is the short term for foreign exchange. It is the official trading market where one can exchange different currencies across the globe. As many countries are backed by their own banks, this allows citizens to use a currency which, in turn, creates an economy. The better an economy thrives, the stronger that currency can become. When anyone travels to other countries, they can participate in the foreign exchange market manually by simply exchanging their own native currency for the one they are visiting. As decades passed, the internet grew worldwide, and Forex found its way online, where traders from any place on Earth could trade currencies digitally, turning over profits from the comfort of their own homes. To give you an idea as to the size of the Forex market, the London Stock Exchange, on average, will trade daily around $7 billion. The Tokyo Stock Exchange will trade roughly around 18 billion, and the New York Stock Exchange can trade about $22 billion daily. Forex, on the other hand, averages trades of over $5 trillion every single day. It is, without doubt, the largest and most liquid market in the entire world. So, let's review. Forex is the market where all the money in the world is being exchanged in real time through currencies. And because of this very particular type of market, Forex attracts many types of investors who see a vast array of opportunities which can create a lucrative career trading within this exchange. The Forex market opens every Sunday, 5 p.m. New York Eastern Standard Time, and ends every Friday, 5 p.m. New York Eastern Standard Time. A key word to remember in this course is geopolitical factors. Geopolitical factors are all factors relating to the resources of world nations. Rivers, mountains, minerals, gas, oil, labor forces, population, politics, and religion, for example, are such factors. It is all these critical components undergoing dramatic changes at once greatly affects every currency, allowing opportunity for any investor to capitalize on it. It is important to understand that Forex is a very powerful market, and with great power comes great responsibility. Through the continuing education of the IM Mastery Academy, you can learn step by step about the Forex market and how to properly respect and trade from within it on your own. It will take time to fully understand. Yet, if you commit right now to at least 10 minutes of learning a day, that's at least one video, you can see results. Hundreds of thousands have already financially changed their lives for the better because they made that choice.
Most definitely. Somebody just go ahead and type fours in the chats for Forex. If you've been hearing this word and you had no idea that it was an acronym for foreign exchange, you might have thought it was Forexel. You were wondering what in the Forex is going on. And maybe you didn't realize that Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, even every single time you make an online purchase, that you're actually participating in the Forex market. Now, the biggest one for me was the banks. The biggest participants, as he said, so money is always moving up and down. We see it. We get to see, and I'm about to show you. I'm also about to show you so you can experience what we are able to experience through this academy and through what we've learned. We've learned, like those people he spoke about, how to capitalize. Now the banks, let's talk about the banks. Like, who puts their money in a bank? Drop your banks in the chat. If it's Bank of America, if it's Halifax, if it's Barclays, if it's Chase, whoever, whatever, go ahead and drop the names of your banks in the chat. Okay, so I see you. You see those banks where we go to put our money. Now, why do you put your money in the bank? Why do you trust Barclays? Why do you trust Halifax? You feel that's somewhere to keep it. In fact, you don't really pay maybe no other way anywhere else to put it, But guess what? The banks don't even keep the money in the banks. You see, what they do is put your money, because they don't have any money. They are putting your money into broker accounts, into different investments, and they are trading it in the foreign exchange market. And to say thank you, no, they don't return the hundreds of thousands that they made from your £100. What they do is give you 0.0000001% each and every month. And I'm sure you have not gone on a shopping spree on the 0.0000001% interest that your bank is being given you. So what if I told you that every time an exchange is made, someone is paid, and that someone could be you? You see, you might think, okay, well, they've got software. Yeah, they've got $1 million software. But what if I said inside our academy that we have access to, that we enroll into a world of softwares? Guys, look at all these, we call them weapons. We've got FRX weapons, HFX weapons, DCX, ECX. And before I even show you these, I want to show you how this works. I really want to show you how you can actually capitalize. Remember that MT4? That MT4 app? What if I told you that that app that has been living in your phone all this time is basically your key to $6.7 trillion every single day? Every single day. And I'm going to test the theory. I'm going to put it to the test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my phone screen. And what I want you to do is bring up that same MetaTrader 4 that you downloaded. So at the beginning of the call, you went to your app store and you put in MetaTrader 4, right? And now you have the opportunity to put it to the test. You get to try before you buy. You get to see, okay, well, let's see. You've been talking a lot, but let's really see, okay, for real. So what you will see when you open up your MetaTrader 4 app, this new kid on the block that you didn't even know existed, you can see some ABCs, some 1, 2, 3s, and some shapes and colors. And literally, guys, if I told you that knowledge, what you already have come to the floor with, is actually enough to get started, like the education is amazing. The education is on demand. I didn't get to go in depth into the academy, but I'm sure you could say that video was self-explanatory, right? You get to do more of that and in real time, which I will show you. But let's just stick to this. Let's see how to work this thing, right? If you can follow these very simple instructions, then you can be very profitable. So let's start with the one at the top. EURUSD. That's our ABCs, right? We know what the letters are. Just tap on it like I just did, and what you will see is a screen like this, where now you've got some options, and the first one says trade, or if you've got an Android, it may say new order. So click on trade or new order, and what I want you to now notice is that there are two buttons. One is red, so red rectangle, remember shapes and colors, it says sell, and there's a blue button that says buy. Now, what if I just said, I'm not even invested in the outcome, but there's a 50-50 chance that we can get this right or wrong? Well, let's see. Let's test the theory. You don't know what's going on. Just go ahead and hit buy. Just like that. Just hit buy. And you hear a little pop, and just like that, you just entered the largest financial market in the world. And what is happening is that the money is moving, just like he said, that there are constant fluctuations in the market, and you just entered the largest financial market in the world. You didn't have to do a degree, you didn't have to pay Sally Mae, you didn't get in loads of debt, you didn't have to remortgage the house for free in less than 5 minutes, in fact less than 2 minutes. You just entered your first trade. Guys, what you actually did is just buy the euro versus the USD. And whether you know that or not, what you can see is that the money numbers are moving, and they move red, they move blue, they move red, they move blue. And you get to, rather than exchanging your, we're seeing blue skies. You know what that means? My Rich University family, when we see blue skies, someone drop what blue skies mean. When those numbers go blue, you see that is our profit. Right now, we are not working hard for this money. We have made a one-time investment. We have done one thing. I've actually spent £1 on this trade, and I can go and do whatever I need to do. Now my money's working for me. And what happens is that the different times of day, money is moving like no tomorrow. You can see in the background that I already have 3 trades that have been moving inside this phone app in a completely different account that I don't even pay any attention to anymore. But that's what a multiple stream of income looks like. You don't have to physically be paying attention to it. So anyway, enough talking for me. Now you entered. How do you get out of this thing? Like, what if you wanted to cash out and you said, okay, like I'm ready to go? So all you would do, the same way we got in is the same way we get out. Press and hold that EURUSD and hit the word close, because we want to close, right? We want to close the trade. And look, we're already in profit. It says profit. So what I want you to do is just tap that banner. And as soon as you tap that banner, you'll be out. You'll be out of the market. It was painless. You didn't have to get yourself in loads of debt. You just entered your first trade. Now imagine the possibilities. Imagine having access to this 24/7, but not just access to the app. You've got the app on your phone now. Whatever you do from this point, you have been exposed. Your mind has been stretched. You can't go back to the thinking you had before, because now you know. But what if? Because I'm not going to be the one calling you every day, telling you to buy and telling you to sell. Now, that's where the $1 million banking software comes in. That's what your banks are doing. They're not making those decisions either. They have tools, algorithms, like things like our harmonic scanner, which tells you right here that it gives you an average of 200 plus trades every single week. So it's telling you what to buy, what to sell, and when to do it 200 plus times. And then DCX, for those who may have invested in Bitcoin, did you know while your investment is sitting there, you can actually also trade Bitcoin? And we have a whole epicenter called Swipe Coin. And as you can see, I'm just going to show you some of the results. We've been taking profit. That was the third take profit, meaning we already took profit twice before that. And you're seeing a word called pips, 500 pips. You saw 800 pips, 3,900 pips. What's pips? Pips is basically your profit. You see, in the Forex market, in the money markets, we don't count money in pounds, shillings, and cents, because there's dollars there. Some of you are trading in euros. Some people are trading in Japanese yen. But what happens is that those movements, those points in percentage, we can count the points. We can count the points. Just like you count time in minutes, hours, and seconds. Me and you, let's see who's on a call. Hold tight, Miss E in NYC. Miss E might get in a trade and she's got $1,000 in her account. I've got $100 in mine, but we both make 10 pips. 10 pips for her with her 1,000, that may be $100, and 10 pips for me with my 100, that might be $10. We both made the same amount of points, but because of the risk that we're using, which you learn inside the academy, and guys, I mean, my hands almost tired, like I'm still going, like this is profit after profit after profit after profit after profit, right? So guys, you get access. Does somebody say access? Somebody say access. So how can you actually get started today? How can you actually get started today? You see, most of us are used to traditional education when normally you're probably waiting for the big price tag, right? You know, you're thinking, okay, who am I going to have to, borrow from, pay off? Just like Harvard University, as you see on your screen, they are offering introductory blockchain courses to Bitcoin. And I've seen so many on my timeline this week from Oxford University, Cambridge, all those those elite colleges. And yes, you will pay for them. Just like you've paid for the education. Drop in the chat if you've already got a degree, if you've already been to university. And whether you're working in that field or not, do they still send you mail to tell you, okay, well, you still owe this and you still owe that? They don't care what you did, whether you put it to use or not. There's like 90% of people that are not using college degrees, university degrees, that they actually paid thousands. I'm talking 20,000 a year for. So guys, I've got great news, because here on the right side, here at Rich University, all digital education isn't created equally. What if I told you that today you can get access for all I've just shown you, which would be the elite package, our elite academy, and you can get the FRX Academy, which normally on its own would be $235 one time. The HFX Academy, the same. DCX, if you just wanted crypto, then that's $235. But guys, with the elite, you actually get Forex, HFX, DCX, and wait, there's more. Yes, you get swipe coins, swipe trades, gold cup, bounce back, pivots, all these add-ons that every time you add on, that just adds on more money to your bank account. That just adds on more money alerts. That just adds on more TV channels, which I didn't even go into. We have a whole, oh Lord, I said 30 minutes, right? I said 30 minutes, so I've got to be strict. But we have a whole TV channel. In fact, I'm just such a sucker that I really just want to show you that those tools, you don't have to figure them out for yourself. You can literally go to a whole TV network where there's over 150 educators, experts that are doing this for a living. They're making money, and what they do is they invite you to do exactly what they're doing. And this is what it looks like, guys. All these different channels. You see, there's those words again, and you can tap in. And the great thing is that whatever it is that you do for a living, whatever your schedule is, you can actually match it up to when the money makers will be online, and then do it with them. And you get to go in live trading rooms. You click on their faces when they're live. You see what their schedule is, and you can actually go back. You can actually go back and watch them. You can go back and watch what they did if you missed it. So everything is recorded, guys, on demand at your convenience. I know right now it looks a little bit crazy, all these charts, but the best thing about it is they actually write it on the screen. They actually just say, like I just told you,
okay,
buy now, sell now, buy now, sell now.
2,000 pips.
Look,
Or
2,000
future
pips.
move, I should say.
2,000 pips. She's doing a whole explanation on the screen. So guys,
The daily being over.
you're never left alone. You never have to do this alone. You get to be walked step by step through the process. And as you can see here, all of what I've just gone through, every single thing that you've just seen, for a mere $300. I'm talking the type of money that you pay for an installation for your hair weave. I'm talking the type of money that you go and you spend in a restaurant, that we eat that's lunch money. Here in the UK, that's like 240 quid. What have you just spent 240 quid on? And is it paying you up to 6.7 trillion? But the best part is that, like I said, you don't have to pay this all off at once, like traditional education, like Harvard are doing right now. You actually can pay in installments. This gives the average person a way in. This gives the average person access, the single mother, the full-time student, whoever, the busy professional. It allows them to really be able to manage, really be able to, you know, get access constantly to the TV channels, to the trading plans, to our nightclub, which I didn't even get to go into, our mentorship. You know, we do so much things at Rich. We take trips, we do so much. But even with that amazing value on the table, even with that being literally pennies on the dollar, when we're talking about 6.7 trillion, guys, what university have you gone to where the salary at the end of it could have been a potential 6.7 trillion? Let's just be real, because most of us go and we pay Sally Mae 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand. And it's normally for an extra 30 grand on our salaries, right? That isn't even guaranteed. And no matter how many people we tell about that course, your bills still come through every month. You know, they still charge you every month. You still pay your school fees, and they still, you know, come back their student loans. Well, I told you, all education, digital education, is not created equally. Inside the palace here at Rich, you see, we give you a scholarship. We give you a scholarship that allows you to tell the person that you're thinking of right now, maybe your nephew that plays computer game all day and night. You just entered and exited your trade. You saw it go into profit, and you're thinking, well, maybe he could swap out Fortnite for some MT4, right? Maybe you're thinking about your cousin who recently got laid off, who's trying to figure out how she's going to make ends meet. You might think, well, do you know what? I want to learn with her, because trust me, it's better when two is always better than one. And once that happens, the academy will actually completely waive your school fees, guys. They will actually not charge you any single fee for as long as they are active. So all I want to know is who's next. Like, who is next? Who is ready to really free themselves from whatever the bondage financially that they have been in? Who is ready to invest, first of all, in themselves, but make an investment in their future? What is it that you're doing today that is making a way for your children and your children's children? What are you going to say to your granddaughter or your grandchild when they look at you and they say, what did you do in the biggest pandemic of 2020 when Bitcoin was 37K and today it's millions, billions even? Are you going to tell them that, yes, you know, now we sit on these acres, now my face is above the mantelpiece because of the decision that we made, a decision that we didn't fully understand, but we could see where the world was going. We want to be the first ones to welcome you inside Rich University, because we all said yes. We all didn't understand when we said yes. And you know what? I might even do this because I can see some heavy hitters on the call. Anybody want to unmute? Anybody want to unmute and just tell us a quick, short testimony, literally 60 seconds, of what you said yes to, why you said yes to it, and what is it actually done for you? I ain't going to put no pressure on anybody. We didn't even plan this. I told you 30 minutes I was going to be in and out, right? If any of you want to unmute, if any of you want to, you know, really share your experience, because we know sharing is caring. We definitely know sharing is caring. Hold tight.
Hey.
Jay in the building.
Hey, Miss UK, how are
Hey, Miss
you?
E. You see, I saw Giselle White and I thought, oh, here's J25K. I have to get into
and I just told him that because I said, you know, my iPad come up under J name. He just looking.
He knows what's next, right? He knows what's next. How are you out there in NYC, my rich sister?
I'm absolutely amazing. Amazing. I think I'm gonna let Jay give his testimony instead of me.
J25K. How you doing?
So I'll just
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah. So I'll start it off, and then because we on the call, so we want to keep this quick. And so we live here in New York City, and I've always wanted to be, you know, I've always been curious about how money moves and how money grows. And so when this opportunity presented itself, you know, Forex, and I'm like, Forex, you know, the first thing that came to my mind is for my ex. And, you know, I don't want nothing from my ex. And so I quickly learned that was, short for foreign exchange. And so what this platform has allowed, me and my family to do is learn about what the banks are doing with our money when we deposit it, and how we can grow our money on a day-to-day basis, you know, and absolutely learn about generational wealth. So at the time I had an 18-year-old that's now 19 that was going to a very expensive college in New York. And so I told him I could get you through the first year, but for the second year, you're going to have to learn how to trade. And so we both didn't know anything about foreign exchange. We didn't know anything about investing, but using the tools and the resources, we were both able to plug in. And so I invested $200 into my son, and then I'm going to let him tell you what he did with the rest of the money. Take your mask down.
Hey everybody.
Hey Jay, how you doing?
I'm good. So I just she invested 200. I didn't believe in it at first because it was more like what is this? What am I getting myself into? I don't want to just be, using money and it's not helping me out. So I tried it out. So I went from 200 and then I beat myself all the way, to 2,000. And that's when I was like, all right, I could compound this. Then I could just keep, growing it. So then I went from 2,000 to 10,000. And then I went from 10,000 to 25,000.
Wow.
And then I just kept growing it. I got myself all the way up to 50,000 now, but
wow.
Oh yeah, it was just more of a compound situation, having a positive mindset to push through. So yeah, just stay hungry and humble, don't get too cocky with it. Don't have greed. So yeah.
That's amazing, Jay. I tell you what, your story never gets old. You're definitely a point of contact and an example for, other young brothers and young kings that are looking up and thinking, how are they going to make ends meet? People are out here risking it for a chocolate biscuit. They doing a lot just to get that bread. So the fact that you had the mindset that was mature enough, to buckle down and really tap into this without knowing anything. I know we said it really chilled and relaxed, guys, but the truth of the matter is that money is always moving. You guys just had an experience for yourself. What did you just spend $200 on? What did you just spend 200 quid on? And what is it doing for you? So we just kind of want this to hit home. We started this talking about financial literacy, the thing that we're chasing, we don't even understand. That's why it's constantly running away from us. So I want to just invite you guys over here onto the right side of wealth, up here at the top, because the truth is that the bottom is getting way too crowded. And I'm going to leave you with the sweet sounds of our Bitcoin mommy playing into your Friday evening. Whoever invited you today, I want you to, did somebody say something?
Yes, this is LaShonda. I just wanted to say real quick, I didn't want to give a testimony or anything, but I'm new to Rich University. I'm a little over 30 days in. And I just wanted to say I had I have two accounts, and one of the accounts, as of like 2 to 3 days ago, I had $128 in it. And as of this morning, it's grown to $504. So it works.
Oh my gosh. And what's
yes, LaShonda, yes.
Oh my, we've been doing it. And did you do it? How did you do it? Was it by yourself? Just give a bit of an experience, because it's really scary
okay.
outside.
So honestly, the first account that I had, we did with the crypto challenge, $200. And just to be transparent, Bitcoin, it blew my account. It wiped me out. And so I had another account that I had just been, hadn't really been doing anything with it, because I was like, I got to be careful with this. So, it's truly a mind thing, and you'll learn risk management. I'm still learning it because I'm in it. And so what I'll do is, I'll put in a trade for Bitcoin. And when I feel comfortable, not trying to be greedy, or Ethereum or XRP, and I feel like, okay, you know what? It's time for me to get on out. I try not to, over exceed or overextend, trying to be greedy. Oh, let me see if it'll go up to 1,000. I'm not trying to do it like that. I'm just trying to meet my goal for today or come close to my goal, and then I exit out.
Do you know what? Just even what you're saying, like if you drop some ones in the chat for LaShonda, because she's on the front line while she's doing all this, she is literally saving lives. People are still, working their regular jobs while they're trying to really figure this thing out, because we've never had access before, so it's a new thing. And listening to you sound like a whole expert. 30 days in, you're talking about XRP, you're talking about, well, when I see this and when I see that, and that's what I find so beautiful about this space, is that you're actually able to develop who you are in these markets and, do what works for you. And in a very short, when I say short, I mean short. When did you even, open your first live account?
Oh, I just went live last week. Like I
Wow.
just went live last week. And you know, it's a difference when you're in demo mode and when you're in live mode. Because when you're in demo mode, you can do whatever you want to do. You can have a balance of $3,000 up to $100,000. But when you're trading your own money, you're like, you know, let me
Right, you
pull
start to
back a
pay
little bit.
attention a little bit more. But I want to just say
Right.
I'm so godly proud of you, and I think you're a great point
Thank
of
you.
contact, because for those who are here today, that this was your first exposure. 30 days ago, LaShonda was exactly where you were at, on a call like this, trying to figure all this out. But the difference is she didn't lean on her own understanding. She didn't come in, having a full picture of even what she was getting herself into. But I'm sure, like most of you out there, LaShonda wanted something different. LaShonda quickly realized that even if she worked, overtime for the next, month, it still doesn't really end up any further ahead, with the taxes and all the rest of it. So we really have to make some decisions. In fact, you guys have to make some decisions tonight. Somebody say tonight. It's about to be the second week of February 2021. That's 6 weeks into the new year. 6 weeks ago, when you said Happy New Year and you said you want a resolution, has there been any resolution? Like, what has changed in the last 6 weeks? What have you done in the last 6 weeks that is putting you in a better standing financially? And for those who are sat there thinking, well, I don't know, I'm not really sure about the money and this, that, and the third, I'm going to just be real with you. Whatever your situation is now, why do you think it's going to be different in a month? Why do you think it's going to be different in 2 months? When we say Happy New Year again, 2022, and God knows what they've got. 2020, they had a lot planned for us, right? We already see what the markets are setting up to do. We've got insight. We've got a seat at the table. We can see exactly what happened last year, February, in these markets. We can see the same thing, because all history does is repeat itself. And you wonder why those investors, why the rich consistently get richer and the ones at the bottom are left to fend for themselves, the chaos at the bottom. I told you it's way too crowded down there. So we want you to come up, have a seat at the table. Come on, sis. Come on, bro. The food is overflowing, spilling over. Press down, shake, good measure.
Amen.
Don't even let me get into the scripture, but let me just let the Bitcoin mommy play us out and see you guys at the bank. Let me say, I'll see you guys at the bank, because it's just way, way, way too crowded down there. Blessings, love,
Amen.
and light.
Yay!
Let's go. Let's grow.
Let's grow.
All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
They call me Bitcoin mommy. You know where to find me. Somewhere on the internet, the streets can never find me. Bitcoin mommy. You know where to find me. Somewhere on the internet, the streets can never find me.
Bye guys, we're breaking the charts as well. Bitcoin mommy. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.